This is Duke University.
Hello, my name is Jaida Lemmons Pryor, and I graduated with the class of 2019. My major was English, and my minor was African and African American Studies. While I was at Duke, I was on the track and field team, and I competed in the Heptathlon. While I was on the team, I was a captain. I earned All ACC honors a few times, both indoor and outdoor, and I earned a couple of all academic honors. But currently, I am a student at Texas Women's University. I'm pursuing a Master of Science in Marriage and Family Therapy. So in a few years, I will be a licensed marriage and family therapist, which is in the same ballpark as licensed professional counselors and licensed clinical social workers, so in the mental health field. And what I enjoy the most about my career, the interpersonal connections, for sure. I love engaging with people, learning about them, and I love learning how I can serve my clients, future clients, and figure out how to meet their needs. I also love the opportunity to work with community-facing organizations and be a part of that dialogue about mental health, which I think is always important. And these are just a few things that I love about my career. But in terms of my career search, I was pre-law actually at Duke. And I switched my interest to the mental health field about a year after I graduated. And so there was a lot of searching involved for me. I didn't know for a long time what I really actually wanted to do. But the things from my time as a student athlete that really helped me in my career search were one, the opportunity to actually intern and have experience in what I thought I wanted to do at the time. So I worked in the wrongful convictions clinic at Duke. And that really gave me the opportunity to not only sharpen skills that I already had, but also to get some hands-on experience and say, okay, is this actually what I want to do? So that internship was definitely useful for me, but also my mentors. I mean, having the opportunity to communicate with people and help me, who were willing to help me think through what I was wanting to pursue, was useful. And then also the athletically sponsored career fairs were very useful for me as well, because they led me to the Career Center and afforded me the opportunity to chat with advisors there, which was extremely useful for me. They helped me clarify my goal in a lot of ways, figure out what I did and did not want to do. At the time, it was more geared toward what I did not want to do, but that was still pushing me toward what I did want to do. Also, my time as a student athlete allowed me to develop and sharpen two skills that really helped me in my career search. The first one is relentlessness. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, as I already said, but not doing anything wasn't going to get me any closer, right? So all those experiences I had as a student athlete on the track, specifically in sport, really helped me. And that was a huge transferable skill that I was able to see, because of course I had to be relentless when it came to the goals that I had on the track. So why would I not apply that to my career? That definitely helped me, especially as I did not know what I wanted to do. Second one is discipline. So following through on my interests, reading, talking to people in the industry, going to events, things like that. Once I was able to set a goal, which relentlessness is really what pushed me into being able to devise a goal, I was able to be disciplined once I had reached that goal, which was really great. So in searching, a challenge that I faced was not knowing what to do, because everything I had done in college was related to law. So I felt really unprepared to do anything else. And honestly, I almost went to law school because I wasn't sure if I would be able to start over. And, in comes those two skills, that relentlessness and that discipline, as well as the mentors and connections that I still had from Duke, helping me think through things. That was how I was able to overcome it. Communicating with people, and then also falling back on the skills that I had developed as a student athlete. Because law and mental health, like marriage and family therapy, are so different, I had to find a way to get my foot in the door. And, I was only able to do that because I was willing to be relentless, and I was willing to be disciplined and follow through on my goals. So 3 skills generally that I learned as a student athlete that I use in my career are networking, practicing overcoming fear and anxiety, and then communication. So first with networking, I have professors who turned into mentors that I still speak to and glean wisdom from. And networking is one of those things where you always hear about it, but it's because it's so important. The second, having practice and overcoming your fear and anxiety. Sport is the perfect place to get hands-on practice with that. And it is so beneficial because it takes courage. It took courage for me to start over in an industry I had no experience in, and I had to be willing to be bad at something. And then I had to work really hard to gain competence because people's lives depend on my actions. And just like I wanted my teammates to view me as dependable, I want my clients to view me as dependable. And so having had that practice and overcoming that fear and anxiety because I had to perform has become really useful for me in my career. And lastly, communication, talking to trainers, telling them how I felt, advocating for myself, communicating with professors, teammates, coaches, trainers, competitors, game officials, administrators, compliance officers, the list goes on. And having to do that all before I take one rep in a track meet. If there's anything student athletes know how to do, it's communicate our position. And so that's valuable just because it shows that you can be an asset to a team that needs to get anything done. I mean, communication has been extremely useful in my career where I need to be able to communicate with my client clearly and be able to be a strong listener. So that communication goes both ways. And that's really something I use on a day-to-day basis. I learned how to network and communicate and advocate for myself, and how to walk in courage out there on the track, running in circles and jumping over things and falling sometimes. Sports might be a game that you play, but there is nothing playful about the skills that you've gotten from being a student athlete. And they can and will help you excel in career if you connect yourself with people who will help you learn how to leverage those skills. They helped me, and I'm very, very grateful and glad for it. But my dedication to sports during my time as a student athlete has translated into the dedication to my career through one word that I talked about a little bit already: discipline. I'm in touch with the fact that I have to earn everything. So I have learned not to stand in my own way. And if I have a goal, I know that there are things I have to do to achieve that goal. But if there's one quality student athletes fail to highlight on occasion, it's their ability to put forth a sustained effort in pursuit of a goal. Student athletes have a lot of follow through, and are very strong in the area of delayed gratification, because if you think about it, national championships, whether that's team or individual, they don't come overnight. They come months down the road, if not years. And so, but you take into account that the grind is every day. The grind is not delayed. So we set a goal, we create a plan, and we stick to it. So that sustained effort, that ability to stay focused on a goal is very valuable, and it's something that we should highlight more. One piece of advice I would provide to current student athletes regarding career development is make time to go to those career fairs, whether they're athletically related or not. Go to the career center, internship fairs, whatever's being offered. Part of figuring out what you actually want to do is doing those things. And Duke has so many resources to offer, and college is unique in that you may be hard pressed to ever find so many employers and advocates from different professions and industries trying to convince you to try them out at one point in your life. So it's really a privilege and an opportunity that should not be taken for granted. One lesson that I learned during my career at Duke is that being a student athlete makes it easy to only come outside of that athletic bubble to go to class. And this includes both social and academic endeavors, right? But Duke has so much to offer, and I hope that you have the foresight to make use of it for more than 1 year, like me, who waited until senior year to even look up the offerings of the Career Center. But let all of the resources available to you as a student athlete even be available to you. And that includes places like the Career Center, which can help you figure out what you're trying to do, chart your path, or whatever it is that you're looking for.